Alright, I've got another tutorial for you guys today, and that's going to be to read from a file in C. Um, so I've got here open what we're going to be programming these functions in, which is a test.c file. And we have here a text file, jezzy.txt. And what it says is this is what we're reading from this file. And we're just going to essentially read that in and print it out. Also, we're going to count the amount of characters with spaces and without spaces. Just something I'll show you. So, as always, we have to include our libraries first, and we only need standard IO for this one. It has a bunch of file functions included in it, and that's all we need. So we'll make our main function, don't forget to return 0, and we'll start with declaring variables. Ch is going to be what the chars are going to be, and I know it's an int variable, but that's just how the function fgetc works, which is what we're going to use. Make a count, declare count and initialize it to 0. Declare count, I'm just going to call it count2, initialize it to 0, and comment that this is the count without white spaces. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, to open a file, we're going to create a file pointer here. I'm going to name it fp for file pointer. That's just how you create it. We're going to set fp. So what we're going to do is open it. This is a function fopen. What it does is it reads the name of the file, which is jezzy.txt for us, comma, what you want to do with it, read or write. In this case, we're reading to it, so we're going to put R. We're reading from it. Now, it's very important to make an error check in case something goes wrong. So I actually lied. We need another library, standard lib.h. Now, what's going to happen here is we're going to check. We're going to do an if condition, and the condition is going to be if the file pointer is equal to null, if the file doesn't exist, basically. We're going to print a statement. There was an error opening the file. Exclamation mark, do line character to make it more readable. Exit 1, which just terminates the program and returns a 1, because a 0 in C is how you can determine if a program was successful or not. So there's that. We can actually, here I'm going to mess it up on purpose, but get rid of 1Z. I'm just going to gcc test.c. Sorry, I had to save it. And boom, error opening the file because jezzy with 1Z doesn't exist, that thing. Okay, and now we can start opening the file because if we try it again, sorry, you can see there's no error this time because jezzy.txt exists, the text file. So we're going to do a while condition. Put two parentheses in there for the condition. We're going to say while we're going to get that char equals fgetc, which is a get character from the file, basically is how you can read it if you want to say it in a more English manner. Parentheses fp, the file pointer. And that's that for that. I'm going to say while it does not equal end of file, EOF. So it's just going to read until the condition EOF is met, and then it's going to stop reading it. Now I'm going to make a printf statement, %c, which is the placeholder for a char, car, however you want to pronounce it. Put that there. That's going to print out everything that we've read in, basically, assuming it's worked. And I will actually test that right now. Okay, gonna need to include a couple more things. So here, first we're gonna do the error check. Sorry, not an error check. We're gonna read the amount of characters in the file. So I think I forgot to save the text file, which is why I wasn't printing that in the first place. And yeah, there we go. You can see there, it's reading from the file. I was a little confused what I was doing wrong. In VS Code, you have to save every file that you write. So that's the output. There's no new line character. We're going to write that after. Or we can actually, we'll do that after. So next we'll get the count of characters. So we're going to do an if condition. I'm going to say if char is greater than or equal to 0. I'm going to make it a little bit more readable for myself. Just personal preference. Do the AND operator, and if char is less than or equal to 127. So you might be wondering what these numbers signify. It's for finding ASCII values. So if any character falls between this, which they should, they all would, then we're going to increment the count by 1 and also count 2 by 1. And you may be wondering why would they be different, and they're not different yet, which is what the next if condition will do. We're going to say if char equals. So if it's equal to a value, single quotation marks, space, that means a white space. Then count 2 minus. So say there's 10 characters, it's 10, and if there's two white spaces, it will subtract those two, basically. So yeah. So we're going to make some print statements. First, I'm going to make a print statement with a new line outside of the while loop to make this readable. Then we're going to say the count is equal to %d, which is a placeholder for count. Don't forget to add a new line, once again for readability. One more, count, parentheses without white space. I can't spell. %d, new line, count 2. And it's very important that when you're opening a file to prevent some undefined behavior or some memory issues, leaks of any sort, you close the file pointer. And it's also good practice. You don't necessarily need to do this, but to set the pointer equal to null with return 0. Now we're going to save that file, gcc test.c /a.out. Bam. So we have what the file reads. Sorry, let me just make this a bit more readable. There. What the file reads. This is what we're reading from the file. The count of characters is 42 characters. Without these 7 white spaces, it's 35. So that's how you make the code all fully readable. That's how to read from a file in C, how to count the amount of characters, how to count the amount of characters without a white space. Thank you for watching.